Director of the film Faith and Branko, Catherine Hart, is with us. Catherine, hello, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you doing?
Very well, thank you. You brought us a colorful story of two such a different cultures, but connected so beautifully with love and music. So I wanted to ask you first, how you became a witness of everything that happened to Faith and Branko.
So back in 2011, I went to a music school near Valjevo in Serbia. And while I was there, so this school is for Romani music, gypsy music. And Faith was one of the students there. So she was visiting from England to learn accordion. And while I was filming at the school, I had the sense that there was something going on between Faith and Branko. They had really good musical chemistry. And also they were really fun to hang around with. So I ended up filming many scenes with them, which turned out to be the beginning of their relationship. And then a few months later, Faith called me and she asked if I would come back to film their wedding. So everything happened quite quickly, but it started at the music school.
Mm-hmm. And this is a quite intimate insight, not only into relationship between partners, but also relationship in the family. So I wanted to ask you, how did you put yourself in those situations? Because you were not just an observer, but person of trust.
Yeah, it's difficult to point out how exactly that happened. I think a lot of it is to do with the connection that I had with Faith and Branko, which was very instant, actually. We just clicked, we got along. And even with Faith had a language barrier with Branko, and I initially had a language barrier too. But I started to learn a little bit of the language, and I don't know why. I don't know why exactly Branko's family were so welcoming to me. I think I just it was natural. There was nothing awkward about the atmosphere. I just got along well with them, and I would spend time with them and hang out and have coffee and listen while they play music. So I think it just was a very easy, organic relationship. There was nothing forced about it or calculated. We were becoming friends, actually.
Were you familiar with the Roma culture? Have you find yourself, I don't know, maybe confused or something over some reactions of Branko's aunt or grandma? Grandma had some legendary lines.
Yeah, definitely. It always surprised me. I think I was more some of the issues that bothered me more were the dynamics between Faith and Branko, and even to this day, sometimes I will find it a bit frustrating that Faith has to take on all of the roles, almost like a mother to Branko. Like, he's such a talented musician and he has so many strengths as a person as well, very intelligent, very wise, but still he expects that she'll do all of the cooking, all of the cleaning, and at the same time she's a musician just like he is, and she organizes all of their gigs. So that was something that I found difficult to understand, that there was this very old-fashioned gender roles in their community. But Baba got it, you know, the grandma, she had a sense of humor about it as well.
Mm-hmm. The key word of this year's festival is challenge. So I wanted to ask you about all the challenges you had. Maybe filming in Serbia, would you say it was a positive experience or not?
Definitely, definitely. I feel like I'll always be connected to Serbia now. I'll always want to go back there to visit. And I learned some of the language, which I really love. I love the sound of Serbian. And yeah, I think it was challenging sometimes in different ways. Like initially from, you know, to get interest in the film, I think, you know, I tried BBC, for example, but they didn't really understand where the story was going, and it's all very linear. They want to know exactly what will happen, whereas I was following a real relationship, which I had no idea where the story was going. So that was a challenge to me sometimes, to try and form a narrative, to create a narrative from real life, which really wasn't produced in any way. I wasn't telling them to say anything. It was all natural. So, and also the hanging around waiting for things to happen could be sometimes challenging, or I would have to read the situation, and if they needed space, then I would go to a cafe and wait for a while, give them some time alone. So they were small challenges. Overall, I enjoyed the experience, and that's why I kept going.
What did you learn about yourself during this process?
Sorry, I didn't hear the beginning of the question.
What did you learn about yourself during this process?
Oh, that's interesting. Maybe about myself. I think I'm good at reading people. Maybe that's something positive that I learned. I hadn't thought about that before. That's a new question. Yeah, that I quite like. I enjoy the process of hearing people and trying to tell their story and to do it in as authentic a way as possible.
Thank you, Catherine. It was a pleasure. Catherine Hart, director of the film Fate and Branko, was our guest.